Bond and the audience.
I think it's a big compliment for me even to be a Bond girl. Running around on high heels and just being in a beautiful bikini, I think that would have been fantastic.
I'd seen Ursula Andress come out of the sea with the bikini, and after having seen that, I always wanted to be a Bond girl.
I approve.
You do?
Oh, not the wine. Your frock. Tight in all the right places, not too many buttons.
Then I will take it off.
I have a feeling this is the beginning of a wonderful relationship.
I'm beginning to like you, Mr. Bond.
That makes two of us.
What's going on behind my back?
Nothing. Look. No hands.
Since you're here, would you mind giving me something to put on?
What sharp little eyes you've got.
Wait till you get to my teeth.
Sex was one of the things that sold the Bond films.
Who are you?
My name is Pussy Galore.
I must be dreaming.
People are inclined to say, oh, you were one of the Bond girls. It drives me mad because most of them were just sort of bimbos, weren't they? But Pussy Galore had a very serious and responsible job and did it very well and didn't say yes to Bond straight off.
This should be a memorable flight.
You can turn off the charm. I'm immune.
She was equal in intelligence and intellect and talent and professionalism with all the others, with all the men.
You've had classically trained actresses, and you've had models, you've had normal actresses like myself, who had a career before the Bond and since the Bond.
As times change, so too does the role of women in the new 007 film, GoldenEye.
She changed the access codes.
Yes, they do look beautiful. Yes, they are sexy. But they move the story along as well.
What are you doing?
Boris is online backing up his files. If I can spike him, I might be able to find out where they're going. But don't stand there, get us out of here!
Yes, sir.
This is the Bond girls of the 90s, and we really have to do the film more modern, so we have to do them strong. And it's up to us what we do of the characters, and I don't think we should ever change Bond because he should always be this a little bit difficult sex. It's just up to us how we treat him.
How can you act like this? How can you be so cold?
It's what keeps me alive.
No, it's what keeps you alone.
Nobody does it better. Makes me feel sad for the rest. Nobody does it half as good as you. Baby, baby, darling, you're the best. Baby, you're the best.
Besides discovering some of the most alluring screen actresses of the last 3 decades, the 007 film series also made its mark in another area, music. Long before music videos, James Bond films have been putting stunning images with hit songs.
There is nothing better than sitting in a darkened theater and you hear the opening strains of a Bond soundtrack. You immediately have a point of reference that goes 25 years.
Subtlety is not a virtue in a Bond movie. Not in a Bond movie, you play it to the hilt. The whole thing really came together with Goldfinger. And from then on, that was the formula. It was large, bigger than life, extravagant movie making.
Goldfinger, he's the man.
Shirley didn't come in and read this lyric and say, well, what's the meaning? And, you know, she just sang it.
We were in a studio with 60 musicians, and they had an enormous screen, and I had to sing Goldfinger to what was happening on the credits. We got to the end, and the credits didn't seem to end, and I had to hold this note. And it was like forever. At the end, you know, I nearly passed out.
Very different artists used along the way, you know, from Duran Duran to Shirley Bassey and Carly Simon in between. That's really covering the waterfront. But all of them very cannily chosen to reinforce the essential image of the films and of its lead character, of strength, of power, of sophistication.
The latest artist to join the long list of Bond vocalists is none other than Grammy winner Tina Turner.
Shirley Bassey. I'll never forget her voice. I think one has made it when you're accepted in such good company.
Golden eye, not lace or leather. Golden chain taken to the spot.
Collaborating with Tina on Goldeneye are Grammy Award-winning U2 artists The Edge and Bono, who wrote the title track.
See what I've got.
Edge is the musical person. I mean, he's very devoted. Bono is interesting and magical in some kind of ways. They're wonderful. I had a feeling they would be.
The idea of Tina Turner and Bono, I mean, that chemistry of those two people, I think Tina is one of the most exceptional artists, and he is a hell of a songwriter. I think it should be very special.
Just when you thought it would be impossible to make James Bond more daring, more dashing, and, yes, more sexy, along comes the new 007, Pierce Brosnan. Stay with me for an exclusive behind-the-scenes journey into the world of Goldeneye, the most challenging Bond film ever to be made.
When we return, a sneak peek at the most ambitious 007 movie ever, the exciting new James Bond adventure, Goldeneye.
James Bond dodges bullet, building blows up. Well, of course it does. I should jolly well hope so. But never in quite the same way as it does in Goldeneye. 3 years in the making, exotic locations, and a ravishing new Mr. Bond. Welcome to the world of Goldeneye. It was the announcement that would set the machine in motion. Fans and the world press had been waiting for nearly 6 years.
Ladies and gentlemen, the new James Bond, Mr. Pierce Brosnan.
The announcement marked the beginning of Goldeneye.
Stand by. Here we go! Starting, come over! And 3, 2, 1, hang up!
With a story set against the backdrop of the ever-changing New World Order, Goldeneye brings 007 back to the forefront of international intrigue.
The name's Bond. James Bond. I think what we have here is a franchise which has been very successful, and we have a film which people really want to see, and they want to see it work for all the reasons it worked back then. But I think the film that we've got has got a grittiness to it, and I think it addresses all of the symbols and all of the imagery that turned people on originally.
We're going to test fire Goldeneye.
Goldeneye exists.
Yes.
3, 2,
I want you to find Goldeneye.
1.
Beg your pardon. Forgot to knock.
Ready to save the world again?
After you, 006.
Bond, come back alive.
6:33, take 3.
Acclaimed action director Martin Campbell filmed Goldeneye on locations around the world, from Russia to Puerto Rico to Monte Carlo and back to England. creating a motion picture of immense scope and scale, as well as taking on the challenge of introducing the new 007.
If you look back on all the various actors who have played Bond, certainly Connery, Roger Moore, Tim Dalton and so forth, they've all brought entirely different kind of characteristics to Bond. And now we've got Pierce, who I think brings an element of classiness to him as well.
Action, Pierce.
I fill the shoes of Bond in my own way. It's not a job that you take lightly. There's an audience out there of 32 years standing, and the expectations are high, so you certainly feel that you're up there on the wire at times. And that's what's so enthralling about Bond. I think he's a really cool dude, actually. I like him. No more foreplay.
So, Bond is back with a vengeance. As long as motion pictures continue to be made and treacherous villains continue to attempt world domination, there will be other heroes trying to save the day. But none of them, in my opinion, are fit to even shake the martini of Agent 007. Bond. James Bond. Nobody does it better.